Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Smith here with our third art lesson. Let's go ahead and get started. So, just to review, we did some exploring of our materials, experimenting with different amounts of pressure to have different uh, types of lines, using the sides of our pencil and that sort of thing. Then, in our last lesson, we did like observational drawing. So we looked at real objects and we used those to help us draw them accurately rather than focusing on our imagination. So you should have these 2 pages filled with just items around your house that you looked at something and then you tried to draw it based on how it looked. If you don't already have these 2 pages filled, please pause this video, fill up these 2 pages, and then once they're full like mine are, or even more full, then we'll move on because it's really important that you practice that before we move on. Like I said before, we're building skills. So each thing is like a step that builds on the next. So make sure you practice that. Today we're going to talk a bit about reflecting on our art and also introducing the concept of contour lines to show three-dimensional shapes. So before we do that, let's go ahead and warm up. Let's find some empty space in our papers and just like take your pencil, think about how you're holding it. We have our pinch right here and then back up right here. And you're just going to draw some loops. And we're just doing this to sort of warm up our hand muscles. And I'm just using this space, like this is just a practice page, so I'm just doing some loops, different angles, different sizes, just to sort of get my hand ready. All right. Trying to not scribble, trying to like get my pencil to not look messy. If I might need to adjust my grip so it's more comfortable. And practice like moving your whole hand a little bit as well. So, okay. I'm feeling pretty warmed up. Now I'm going to turn to this page. I'm using the back of a page we used previously. I'm flipping it around so I have this out of my way. Okay, and you know what? Let's go ahead and label this so we remember. So this was number 3. This was number 2. And this was number 1. All right. So, starting here with number 3. We're going to practice contour lines. So, earlier I think we used, not in the one in the video, but I drew a chapstick and I think, yeah, I did it on both. You know there's a circle on both ends, but you don't actually draw the circle. You draw what you can see, right? So you can see that part of the face of the cylinder, and then you can see just that curved edge there, but you don't actually see circle, circle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do another line drawing of our chapstick. So you don't have a chapstick, just get another small item like a glue stick or even a marker or something like that. That would be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to hold it here so you can see. Okay. Don't want it to roll around. There. Okay. So I see it has, taking my pencil, bringing it across the edge that I see. See, it has this curve shape. Bring this down in the camera. Curve shape. And this, it's like the same curve shape as that one. Then connecting this bottom like that. And then this little tiny little bit that I could see right there. Okay, now this line for the lid and the rest of the chapstick, that curve shape. Now, we have one more right here. Now go ahead, pause, take a moment. Is anything looking kind of funky for you? I see I didn't really connect right here. I want to try that line again. It's so important that when we're doing art, we can be honest with ourselves, notice what can be improved. I do think I made the whole thing like a little bit skinnier, but it's also a little bit smaller, so I think it's pretty proportional anyways. Okay. Maybe this part can be straightened out a little bit. Like that. Not just one and done. Okay, so now it's not going to match exactly what this like design and sticker looks like, but what we're going to do is we're going to practice creating lines that will demonstrate the shape of the object. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw a series of lines that will show who is ever, oh, that's getting a little bit too curved. It'll show whoever's looking that this is a round object. And this is hard, so be nice to yourself. Curved line. Line. All the way. You're noticing, oof, that one has like a kind of like an angle. Go ahead and fix it. This one's a little bit lumpy. Go ahead. Try to fix it. This. I'm gonna do the same thing, but because I see this shiny spot right here, I'm gonna try to leave that shiny spot white. Sort of draw these lines and just not that spot right there. Another thing you could do if you're not comfortable doing that is just draw the whole line and then erase out that spot right there. And that kind of shows, I'll do it right here too. Kind of shows that there's like a little bit of light reflection. Now there's also a bit of a shadow underneath, so I'm going to go ahead and draw in that shadow. Right here as well. And then this part has these little lines that are already showing the contour of that shape right there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those in as well. Okay. Now, does it look exactly like the chapstick? No, it does not. But does it look like a round cylindrical object? Yes, it does. And that's what we're going for. Okay, so now I'm going to step it up a little bit. If you're feeling not ready, you go ahead and get another pen, pause this video, another sort of marker, and practice exactly this again. Okay, but what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to try to do an outline of my hand, and then I'm going to do some contour of my hand. Okay, so I'm going to take off my ring, because we don't need to be that complicated right now. I'm going to put my hand in a position that I can comfortably hold for like the next few minutes. I think I'll just put it like this. Okay, now I'm going to do exactly what we've been doing before. I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to try to figure out the shapes of what I'm looking at, which is my fingers. Bringing my pencil around I'm not tracing on the paper, but I'm just bringing it around, noticing, oh, there's a little bump here. It goes in here. It comes out kind of flat here. This part curves around, comes down. There is this little line right here. It comes up, up, up. And this is going to take a little while, okay? So be patient. I'm going to do my hand. I want you to do your hand, not my hand, okay? All right, so I'm going to start down here. So I'm just doing right here. Coming out a little bit and straight up. Nearly straight up, more straight. Doing it a bit smaller than my real hand. Coming up and going in. Coming out for the knuckle of my thumb. In at a little bit of an angle. And then right here I'm going to go all right, taking a moment, checking in. All right, now I'm going to bring my pencil around this thick part of my thumb. And I'm noticing this curve comes to a bit below where my knuckle was. So I have my knuckle right here, right? So I'm going to have this curve go from like there to there. Okay. Then I have this little bigger lump and then a little tiny lump. Let's see, where did those go? To about where it comes in right here. So, got my bigger lump and this little lump. Then I'm going to draw in that little line right there because that shows the shape as well. Okay. Noticing, I feel like I should have made this part a little bit thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and thicken that up. And I'm looking for this nail bed line right there. Okay, so finish up your thumb. When you're ready, hit play. This part should be a little bit thicker too. Okay, now I'm going to come up. There's a greater amount of distance between my thumb and my finger as I continue forward. And I don't have my hand like this, like a Thanksgiving turkey drawing. I've curved my fingers, and that is kind of the point of what we're doing today. So it's not gonna go past about, let's see, maybe like here. Not super high. Like there. Okay, I'll put a little suggestion dot for myself. See if that'll help me. So I see there's this little chunk that comes out wide. This little bit that's coming up. It's almost going like straight up. And then it goes in that way a little bit. Straight up. And then now I'm about at nearly where the tip of my thumb is. Is that right? No, I see I'm not lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and try that part again. Not mad at anybody. Certainly not mad at myself. This is tough, tough, tough. Lumpy right there. And then go to about the tip of that thumb. Okay, now I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Went in, little bit straight to about there. And then this part is around, goes a little bit this way. And To about there, round. All right. Looking all right. Okay. Then I have my little nail bed right here. It's kind of like a triangular shape as it's looking. It comes down at this angle, a little farther away to this part of my knuckle right there. Then it goes at a slightly different angle to show this flat part right there. That's gonna go, I need to bring this out just a little bit. Like that. That's good. And everyone's hands are different, you know, so yours are certainly different than mine. Then I'm just going to draw this little line right here. And that goes about to where that knuckle is again. Actually right about there, yeah. Now I can see on this finger, these lines, I'm going to go ahead and pop those on there. Those are the beginning of my contour. There's also one right here on my thumb knuckle right there. That's showing us where my finger bends. There's also a little one right here. A little one right there. All right. Okay. Now, this next finger, even though I know it comes down here, it's the shared same line, but it has this little Y right there. Just a little tiny little Y. And then about at that height of the knuckle, a little bit higher than that, it swoops and then comes around like that. Now, the whole finger exists, but we just can't see it because it's behind the other finger. The tip of this finger is a little bit higher than my other finger, so I'm going to go a little bit higher. My little flat top there. Little nail. Little knuckle. Right here. And we're going to come down to about the same height as to where the other finger ends. I'm going to bring it up. This finger, it's bent, so it has that sort of shape right there. I think I should go make this a little bit bigger. Constantly, I'm thinking about it, I'm checking. In some things in art, you just let your brush or your pencil go for it, but some things you want to be deliberate about. That's what we're doing today. A little line right here, a little line right there, a little line right there. Another one up here. Okay. I made my nail a little bit bigger on that one. All right. Remember, this is practice, so take a breath. Give yourself a little smiley face because you're doing great. Okay, we're just going to do these last two fingers, and then we're going to take a little break. So, right here, around that line for that knuckle, there's like a little shape right there, and then around this line, there's a little shape right there, and it comes up to about the same height as my other hand. So that's what I'm going to draw. see that sharper edge of my nail coming down and then around like this. It's a little bit squished. And it's sort of, this one comes down a bit lower, you can see, than that other little Y. So I'll go down a little bit lower. It's making a little crease where it meets my pinky. Connect that line right there like that. Okay, I'm seeing there's this little knuckle wrinkle. There's one up here. Then there's my nail. Looking at it again, I think I made this fingertip a little bit too thin, so I'm going to go ahead and thicken it up. Constantly going back and taking another look. All right, one pinky left. We can do this. We're so close. So just a bit above these finger knuckles on my hand, I have just the edge of that little pinky. It's around until it hits my nail, and it's straight. Out a little bit, down, down, down here, down for that little lump. There's this little edge, little line, and there we go. Okay, coming down from my hand. Started over here. I'm gonna come around over here. It's like kind of a little bit of a rounder shape. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys, we did such a good job on this. Picking up that thumb a little bit right there. That. Okay, take just a minute. Take a deep breath. Is it perfect? No way. But does it look like a hand? Yes, it does. It's so cool. Okay, try to leave your hand where it is if you can. We have a simple outline of our hand, and I think it looks great. Now what we're going to do, though, the next step for this lesson, we're going to try to show the 3 dimensions by doing a contour, just like what we did over here, but on our fingers. Okay, so the first step was outline, and the second step is to be proud of yourself. And then the third step is to show the shape. With a contour. Remember, at any point you can pause and look at those things again. Okay, so I'm going to start over here on my thumb. I'm going to use my wrinkles of my thumb to help me. So for this, I'm coming up and down, up and down, up and down, up, down. Okay, so I'm going to do that over here. Up and down, up, down, up, down. Now it looks a little different over here because of this shape of my knuckle. I'm going to start down here, comes up and around, up and around, here, up and around, up, around. Now we have a contour of our thumb. Isn't that neat? And around. Pretty cool. Okay, now we're going to do this finger over here. So we go from here and around, from here and around, from here and around. There and around. Looks a little different right here. The angle has changed. So go a little bit flatter and then down, down. Right here. Like whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, and then the knuckle part right there. Okay. Next finger. Up and over, right? So yeah. Curving up, round, up and round. Right here. Whoop. Okay. Next one. And this last one. Now the whole hand, we have to think about where we might have lumps in our hand. I have this lump right here from my like vein. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna kind of start down at my wrist because I think that's a little bit easier. I go just like this. Try that one again. And this part where we start getting into that little lump, I'm just gonna show that lump, my lines. Okay. Now I'm looking at this and I see there's some lines I didn't bring all the way to my edge. There's some things I'm gonna try to fix in here. If you're loving yours, you go ahead and keep it. If you're thinking, there's some things I could improve, go ahead and improve. But here we have a contoured hand. All right. This is probably where you want to stop. If you would like, you can try again with your hand like this, or a hand like this, or a hand like this. You know, try it out. You can fill this page. And then, so this was, remember our sketchbook like this? And then we're going to continue this in our next lesson. So if you're looking at this and you're like, oh, yikes, this went terribly, that's okay. We're going to just continue. with contouring. But please go ahead and fill in this if you're feeling up for it. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Bye-bye.